lot of requests to not play this. But today we got a request and we can't say no to anybody. So. She's on my mind, no doubt about it, she looks so fine. She's the best girl that I've ever had. Sometimes she goes make me feel so bad. Said hush, hush, the moment I heard her calling my name now. Hush, she broke my heart, but I love her just the same now. Hush, hush, the moment I heard her calling my name now. Hush, hush, I need her loving and I'm not the blame now. I got her in the corner, her leaving me down. Oh, what I need her, so I got her. She's got love like quicksand, on the tub, one touch of a hand. Blew my mind and I'm so deep that I can't eat y'all and I can't sleep. Hush, hush, I thought I heard her calling my name now. Hush, hush, she broke my heart, but I love her just the same now. Hush, hush, I thought I heard her calling my name now. I need her love and I'm not to blame. I got her in the morning, and later in the evening. Oh, what I need her, say I got her.
Sabotage that guy and put something in his saxophone?
Sure.
Like some bubble water.
Yeah.
Really? Some of that soap water that you would use.
Yeah, I do. It's great. It makes it one of a kind.
Okay.
To Liz. Or lizard. Right on her back. Yeah. A lizard? Is that what you said? Lizard.
Those are nice t-shirts.
Yeah, real nice.
They sell them all, or are they just made for the staff?
Just for the crew, yeah.
Is there any extra ones?
Yeah, we like didn't have enough for the crew. I never seem to order quite enough. Well, we had too many people help us. That can be possible.
Where do you guys get these bands? Play 3 hours before.
Yeah, we had cocktail wiener last night.
Do you want some of mine too? Thank you. Do you want some of mine?
Sure.
It's Jen.
ahead and start off. I guess the way I'd like to start is
two new people, join the band that we don't know anything about at all. Actually, three new people don't know anything about it.
Always listen to them and learn.
So we start out just by an open discussion. Tell our people about yourselves. How you came to join the group and everything. You should start left to right with Eric.
Okay. Well, I was playing with the Allisons, and after hearing much falderall about Let's Active from my little brother putting on the benefit at Reynolds, it sort of stirred up my interest in the local music scene. And then with the Allisons, we recorded at the drive-in and met Mitch and played the gigging Flounderman thing which was an all-star local musician thing, which featured Mitch as one of the 5 guitar players, and that was a lot of fun. And then later on, I just happened to find out that they were looking for a drummer, and so I wanted a job.
We found out that he drove a Triumph, so we learned.
Oh yeah, that was what did it, I guess.
Really?
The '68 car. Anyway, this is my first TV interview, and I feel weird.
So this is actually your second band that you've ever been in, or were there others before you?
Oh yeah, there was lots of other bands
Yeah.
before that, but that's just that was just how I aspired to this one. I mean, I played drums since I was 6. I got my first set when I was 8, and I played in high school band all through school and various high school bands and several professional situations and a couple of semi-professional touring acts before the local thing and Let's Active.
Was this the first time you've ever recorded?
No, but it's the first record I've ever been on. That was really a record that you could go in a record store around the country and find, as opposed to a Miller High Life Rock to Riches
Audition thing.
Well, it was actually a song on a record, but it was a contest sort of thing. It only made it on the first record, which was a regional record, and then they picked winning songs from various records.
And that was the Allisons that was on that?
No, this was Pegasus Rocks.
So that was the band you were in before the Allisons?
2 bands before the Allisons.
Okay. So like you say, this isn't your first band or anything like that.
Been playing a long time.
Were you familiar with all the material before you joined the band, or did you have to learn it on the spot? Or?
Well, when I decided I was interested, and I was not that familiar with it, but I had heard some of it, and I liked it. And so then I did get copies of everything and start listening to it. And Mitch gave me a tape of when it was Strike While the Iron Is or whatever, and then I started learning it. And so I learned everything sort of so I would know it, and I'm enjoying it very much, I might add.
Did you have a formal audition where they had all 7 drummers lined up going into an audition room and you were number 6? And
no, it was nothing like that. I think it was just it was a formality kind of thing, because Mitch had seen me play and I knew that I wanted to do it, and it was just a matter of whether or not it meshed together, and it seems to be doing good, so I'm happy. And I think Dennis actually learned the songs too, as opposed to some other people that came in and wanted to be taught everything.
You mean those people came in to know the song?
Well,
Only
the first
one
guy we
guy.
auditioned made a big point about how he didn't learn any of the songs.
It was like,
would be
throw me a
unfair.
challenge.
Yeah, it's like, he said, throw me a challenge. It was like, I don't want to teach you.
He like challenged his way right out of the band.
We'll throw you a challenge. Try it.
Yeah, we'll throw you a challenge. We'll throw you a bus
No, it's such
ticket.
a relief for us to have someone who knows the songs.
Well, I think there was an ad based in a certain Georgian newspaper looking for a bass player for Let's Active.
We forgot that even around.
And that's how Dennis came to audition for
No,
the
he had nothing to do with the ads. That's the best thing about it.
Oh,
I just heard it from a
so
friend.
you only got clinkers from the ads, and Dennis is always
All
We had amazingly diverse ads. We had the Rick Springfield School of Rock dude, all the way to guys that look like they should be sitting on a porch playing now. We just got everything.
Yeah, all the people that we actually tried out that were half good were all not from those ads, so that
For
proves something.
word of mouth and stuff.
And nobody with a Steinberger was even considered.
Nobody with a Steinberger got
no
it.
reggae bass players. Or anything.
Yeah, the guy from Journey really wanted to do it, but since he's not playing his PD anymore.
Yeah.
Just couldn't cut it.
Anyone
dreadlocks.
You did one dreadlock?
Yeah, we wanted
Okay.
You wanted handlebar mustaches.
handlebar mustache and dreadlocks together.
Well, I can't get it below the lip.
Yeah, I think Fu
I can
Manchu.
get, yeah.
Well, Dennis, you had known Mitch a while. Is that how you came to
Oh,
audition?
Mitch and me are old friends. I've known him like, what, 7, 8, 10 years?
Yeah, at least.
No, actually, I've known him for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Yeah. I didn't even know. Well, do you want a true story? You want me to make up a
Tell me
really
the
good
true story. How did you
Oh, okay.
audition for the band?
Well, it does tie into that extended rock community sort of thing. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Word of mouth.
Indirectly,
Yeah.
Chris Stamey.
Yes,
sort
Chris
of.
Stamey, another Winston-Salemite.
A night. Yeah.
A man.
No, yeah, because my friend is in Chris Stamey's band, and she told me that that there's just this opening, just offhandedly, and she said her friend was auditioning for it. So then a couple of weeks later, I just said, can I audition for it? Yeah, Mary.
Very
Mary.
back, yeah.
Yeah. And so then I said, you know, I had nothing to do, so I said, oh, you know, you think I should audition? She said, yeah. So
Who
I
was
just made up
Mary?
a tape and sent it.
Who was Mary's friend that auditioned?
No, Mary was auditioning.
Mary was from college.
That's why
I
Kathy
didn't even
felt
know
kind
that.
of
She
weird,
wanted to play like
because
keyboard bass,
Mary
but
was her
she started
friend, and
playing
like she
bass.
didn't know.
Oh, really?
You know, it would have been a weird situation. But
Yeah.
so anyway, and I didn't know Mitch, or I didn't know. I never heard Let's Active before or anything. So it was like
At all?
yeah. Now the truth comes out. It's
Yeah.
like, but I like the tape anyway. So that just happened to be lucky, you know. That I also like the music.
No, I went to pick him up at the airport and he had a case. I said, you must be the guy.
Yeah.
The
Exactly.
guy.
Yeah. So that's the story.
Had you recorded before at all?
In the studio, in a studio, yeah, a couple of studios. I did now with Big Steve Lillywhite. So
Yeah, his band did a real slick record that apparently is going to come out.
yeah,
Crossfire
it's a
Choir,
really good
right?
record.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it still might come out someday, but not in the near future, which is why I'm doing this tour with them coming up. Because there's like nothing happening with that band. But they are a great band, and the songs are really good.
Bulgarian.
Are you still playing with that band, or they replaced you with another bass player?
No, they're not going to get anybody. They're just kind of putting everything on hold for a while. Until I decide what I'm going to do. You know, whatever, you know. But anyway, so I'm going to have to read this and find out who Let's Active is.
Yeah, I'll read it.
That's a good way to start it. Angie, we don't know much about you other than what people have written to tell us about you. Interestingly enough,
They call her the Shadow.
Who's written? I'm curious.
there's some people, fan club members in Minneapolis, that sent us letters saying, "Oh, we've heard about her, and
Really?
you
Like
must have
who?
had you must have been an active writer."
Well, like who? I'm curious.
I don't
Anybody ever
remember the
know?
guy's name. I really don't remember the fellow's name. He promised he'd send some articles that were about you or that you had written or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't remember his name? Because I want to
No.
know if it's a pal.
If it's a friend of yours? I really
Yeah.
don't recall. I could find out for you, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
I just wrote to him recently saying, "Where's the articles on Angie?"
Oh, funny. What was the question?
You were a writer before you were
Yeah.
Let's Active.
I wrote for a college paper called Minnesota Daily, which has a circulation of like 75,000. We only print up like 45 or 50,000, but it had a big entertainment weekly section, and I was writing about a rock story a week for that. And I was writing for a weekly called City Pages, and I was writing I'd written for this thing called Nightbeat a couple times. It was from the Twin Cities Reader, and I also wrote for Matt.
You did?
Yeah.
A lot, or?
I only wrote like 4 or 5 things for Matt, or
She
it
did that
seems
big
like.
Rock Hitchcock art there.
Yeah, I did.
Really?
If we don't see you
The
around
thing
here,
that
we'll see you
really-
around here.
Where was I?
You wrote for
Oh,
Matter?
Sorry.
What?
You wrote for Matter?
Yeah, okay. And Robin Hitchcock? Yeah, Robin Hitchcock's story. And that was like the most fun to do. And a Lloyd Cole story that I just sort of did because I just did it. I'm not the biggest fan. And like a Minneapolis update thing and some other little stuff. So that was fun.
You said that you're a well-known person around the music scene, that you saw every band that used to come into town. People were pretty
Well,
familiar with seeing you.
I don't know if they were. I was real, I wasn't a hangout person. I thought, God, it's hard enough to be a woman and be a rock writer in this little scene because you know, usually bands, they always have girls hanging out and stuff, and I thought, yuck. So I would like dress real sloppy, go to the show, have everything set up, you know, do a real proper interview. I always brought notes, tape recorders and everything, and split. You know, I didn't hang out, I didn't party down. I mean, if they remembered doing the interview with me, they would know me, but I wasn't like, hi, let's go have lunch, you know, and, you know, go hang out with them. I just sort of did my job. That was cool enough to me, you know, I just wanted to hear the music.
Is this your first band?
First real band, I tried to play it, like in high school I played in like a cover band that played like 2 times, you know? No kidding, it was like a wedding, and I think a wedding and a party, and then, you know, keyboards. Then I didn't play, and then punk rock came, and I decided I would get a guitar. And I bought a guitar without knowing how to play it at all when I was 20. And, you know, tried to learn like Buzzcock songs and Clash and all that stuff, and anything that was just chords and wire and all that stuff was out. And Cure, the old, real old Cure stuff, like Killing an Arab and all that stuff. And tried to get in a band with all these girls, or women I should say, and they were like, it's a really bad experience. We all just sucked like mad. We couldn't play. And the girls were really tough, and they'd fight. One of them had her head shaved, and the meanest women. So we hated each other so much that we never did actually play. We had a couple things scheduled, and there would be like these brawls or something, and we didn't play. And then that broke up in just terrible circumstances where all this equipment got stolen from within the band. It was really bad. Anyway, so the next thing that happened was I tried to get a band with my friend playing bass and me, and we actually had a guy drummer and sat and played in basements for a while. And we were starting to get some songs, and then she quit that, the bass player. So then I just sort of thought, I'll never get a band together, and I can't play well, and I was just feeling depressed. And I was starting to write a lot, and I just really didn't have time to do both. And I thought I'd rather try to be a decent writer than a, you know, half-assed musician. So I just concentrated on writing at that point.
So then you met Mitch.
I met Mitch interviewing him for a weekly, and I had interviewed the band with a phoner. So, you know, Mitch was really sick the day I interviewed him.
I was on my deathbed. I remember
Yeah.
it ended really well because it was just like, that's all I could say. I don't know how she got anything out of it trying to argue.
Yeah, and I remember I was really nervous doing that interview because I, you know, heard about Let's Act a lot, and I liked him, and I liked the other stuff that Mitch had done, and I, you know, heard about it. Well, like Steve Almost, like the Crackers record, has a Minneapolis connection, so I'd heard about him for a long time. So, you know, I did the phoner, and he was obviously sick or something. And I thought, well, God, I thought maybe I should go down to the sound check, try to talk to him some more. And that was still when, you know, rumors were out that the structure of the band had changed and then blah, 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 and all that stuff. So I went down to talk to the band and just found out what their touring scene was going to be like. They were going back out on the road with Jay, who was also from Minneapolis from the Figures. So I just wanted to see if that was going to be what sort of touring arrangement. So that's actually when I met the band in person.
Who is this Peggy Sue Amsler? I can see that name.
She
somewhere.
shoots for
Bucket full of brains.
Bucket full of brains.
Yeah.
A lot.
She's from San Francisco.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So this picture was in San Francisco. I wonder where was this from? Do you know where this picture is from?
Yes,
I do.
that's from the IB.
I mean, yeah, wow.
Cool.
She sent us a few others, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we got them around still somewhere. Well, we're down to you. This is a continuation of the format that we started with our first magazine. That is, members of the club, write in and send actual questions.
Oh, yeah?
We ask Mitch, or, you know, general questions. And
These can be real good.
they can be.
Yeah,
We screen them carefully so you don't see the real dumb ones.
Okay, but first of all, what's your favorite color?
Yeah, what's your favorite?
We've eliminated the birthdays, shirt sizes, favorite colors.
I want to talk about my favorite
We're kind of at the
design.
shirt size level today. We're all kind of sleepy.
Yeah.
Some of these are pretty esoteric, but some of them are pretty good, so I'll just start right off and ask the better ones. What do the imprints wolf on a foot and hairball oracle on cypress mean? They're etched inside the vinyl.
Well, Wolf was inspired by that movie with what's it, Goldie Hawn and Burt Reynolds, where That's what was in it. Anyway, I actually paid money to go see a Burt Reynolds movie, and it was that one. And they meet this director guy in Hollywood when he likes that idea. He says woof, you know, and it's like, I really like this woof. Well, anyway, I thought that was just a joke until we did our video on the West Coast, and the guy really said woof to me when I got in the right position, the cameraman. So that's why it's on there. And then Hairball Oracle is from Huck Finn. They had the Hairball Oracle.
Remember?
That's right.
Yeah.
What?
Plus, what about be good, whatever that
Okay,
That
yeah,
can't
what's
be-
be
that
good
can't
or
be
be nice
revealed.
on the...
That can't be revealed
That
until
can't
later.
be.
Oh.
Okay, so
About 704.
Yeah, what's 704?
704 is just my number. It really is. I mean, every time there's a 704 around, I'll just see it. And like on a digital clock or something, I always look at the clock and it says 704 every day, and it's just weird. I don't know why, but it's been going on for years.
So that puts to rest
I
the
think I have to
mystery
put it
first.
on there. It's also the area code for Charlotte. That's why it's really on there. No, I don't know. It's just really, as a number just appears so much, it seemed like it should be on there. That's our contribution to Satanism rock.
Instead of putting stuff that says Satan lives backwards on
Put
it.
stuff like Queen Eyes.
Oh, what's etched into the new record? What did we find in that show?
It says Steve Squirt Run and Bodacious.
Oh, yeah.
This lady asks, I've read recently that Mitch Easter is a big Led Zeppelin fan, and I was wondering, what's your favorite Led Zeppelin album, and what do you think of Jimmy Page?
They're all great.
They really are all great. I don't know what my favorite is.
Three?
Sort of like Three a lot because it's such a weird one, you know. And but I don't know. I think they're all.
Physical Graffiti is great.
All the records are good and they're great. And Jimmy Page is great too. He's probably out of his mind and he's probably sort of dead, but there's something about him that's really good. That's what I think about that. I really do like them, and I sort of never didn't like them. I mean, there were a few years when I thought that I wasn't allowed to, but I actually always did. You know?
Can I throw in one of my own?
Yeah.
When I first got Strike While the Iron Is, I noticed a real similarity between one of your songs and a Led Zeppelin song. I played it back to back.
What was that?
All of My Love from In Through the Outdoor
Yeah.
sounds an awful lot like Can't Go Wrong, Won't Go Wrong, is that the title?
Oh yeah.
Really?
You play them back to back, it's amazing.
Really? Because I don't have that album, but somebody.
It's amazing. You play them back to back, and I swear,
How could Zeppelin rip us out?
I don't know.
It's awful. It's terrible.
The tonalities of the instruments, the arrangements.
Really?
Mm.
That's a good one. We'll have to get that one. We don't. That's the one.
I don't have that or Coda, but I have to go out and get
That
it.
means I have to go beat up Peter Ground in trouble.
Yeah.
When you say Peter Grant, tell him, I'm Mr. Grant.
Most B-sides are a place for a lot of bands to cover a song that comes pretty much from left field. Love Is All Around by Husker Du, for example. If Let's Active had a desire to do this, what songs would they like to cover?
Oh, there are things we'd like to cover, but
Yeah.
I
we'll
guess that
just
means in a
cover that.
vinyl recorded sense.
yeah, we were gonna do Hurdy Gurdy Man, but we sort of didn't.
We even laid down. Mitch even laid down the drum track to Hurdy Gurdy Man, and it was real trippy. Just the right slow speed and stuff. And then it was sort of like, and it was like, nah, you know. I don't know what happened. It just changed.
There's been talk of Cottage Cheese by Crow.
Yeah.
And what else is
I
another
think
one?
probably Hot Smoking Sassafras.
What's that?
Hot
What's
Smoking Sassafras by the Bubble
Bubble
Puppies.
Puppy.
Yeah, we covered that live. We played that.
Well, we saw you do that.
Yeah.
Okay. There's another one that I've been pushing for is Tattoo Vampire by.
Blue Oyster Cult?
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That'd be wonderful to do, yeah.
Yeah.
We've heard it said that Angie knows the lyrics to a Cream song that I could never pronounce. It's SWALBR.
Yeah, did Mitch
Yeah.
tell you that?
I think.
God.
I didn't touch that, but we were.
Pardon?
But yeah, we actually jammed that much. She knew all the words. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it's so embarrassing.
Boy, the
And
picture
and
has a
rainbow
mustache,
has
so the
a beard,
rainbow
and
has a
the picture
beard.
has Yeah, I remember all those lyrics. I love that song. It was like, and the
That's a
rainbow
great
has a
song.
She
beard.
knows where to all that stuff, like songs like Colored Rain and stuff like that.
Oh, I love Traffic's about my favorite. When I was young, I played those Traffic records like Colored Rain and Heaven's in Your Mind, and all those stuff just over.
I love it.
We want that's a couple songs that we are probably going to work up and cover. Colored Rain or Heaven's in Your Mind. A couple of the real old trippy Traffic songs that have a really good groove.
We also kind of want to do doing that scrapyard thing.
Yeah,
Like
with
Cream?
Cream with
Wow.
the keyboards. We've jammed on that sort of at practice.
I heard a band do a cover of What a Bring Down. It was great.
Oh, that's
I couldn't
good.
believe it. I
Wow.
thought, geez, I know that song.
I know the lyrics to that one.
I'm
That's
trying to
good
think who
too.
did it, because I heard it on the radio this week. It was like a really new band. I didn't
Cool.
catch the name. Yeah.
That's
it
got that line.
It really moved along.
Orchestra's living on the pill. One of them is very, very prickly when he's ill.
Yeah, I remember
And
that.
you know what you know in your head. Those
Did
are
Jake
great.
write
She
the
knows
words?
lyrics.
I don't even remember the song. I don't care.
It's one of those it's got a Mission Impossible beat to it.
5/4.
Yeah, it's on the Goodbye Cream.
It's not, yeah.
It's one that
It's
Ginger
the last song.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can see what I said 5 then.
Oh yeah, the real very drummer kind of song.
This is ancient history, this question, but it's been on my mind for a while too. Who is Lynn Blakey? How did she get involved with Let's Active, and what is she doing now?
Well, Lynn Blakey's from Greensboro. We used to meet her, and we used to see her when we played at Fridays, which was one of the clubs we first ever played at.
When you were the original three-piece?
Yeah, and probably met her in '82 or something like that, early part of '82. And we were always doing that thing of having the fourth person to go on tour that's just to have someone else to talk to and just to play some videos and all that. So after the first one was Eric Peterson, who's now playing with the Lions, and then we got Lynn. I don't know when it was. I think it was like we did 2 tours with REM. I guess it was right after Eric played with us, and I guess she was
I
doing
never knew he played with you.
I didn't either, really.
Yeah, he played keyboards the first time we ever went on tour. It was like a 6 or 7 week tour.
A real tour.
And anyway, then we had Lynn do it just because we thought it'd be fun to have her around. She's really talented. She hasn't really been at it for years and years, but actually now she has been sort of at it for years and years, and it's really good. I mean, she has a real good sense of tune. So she really comes up with vocal parts that are sort of like Michael Stipe. I don't even think she can help it, but it's really good. You know, I heard some demos of stuff she done recently that were great, but I don't think she's really got a band right now. But
So
there is
she's
that
not playing-
holiday thing that came out.
Yeah, that's all history now?
That's kind of history. She's still in Washington, D.C., but she's not going to stay there for long, so she's going to get a new band.
Not playing with Linda Hopper anymore?
I don't think so. We should probably do something, but I don't know why.
Wasn't she gonna move back to North Carolina or something?
She's either going to move back to Greensboro or Atlanta. So.
Yeah, it seems like, because we just saw her like a few weeks back.
But that's who she is, I guess. She has a whole lot of sisters that all have black hair. And a real rock mom that knows about everything.
People ask a lot about videos and compact discs. What's up with those things in the future?
Well, we've done video for in little ways, and we did it on Pallet Mountain, which is the Mount Pallet of Andy Griffith's show fame. It's for real, and that should be out like now or something. And let's see, the new record's going to be on CD, and the old ones are supposed to be on CD too. Like the EP and the first LP are supposed to be combined on one CD. I don't know when that'll ever happen though, because I think that's still through A&M. I don't know. It's gonna be.
Oh, so it's not going to be on IRS records?
Well, it'll be on IRS, but I think somehow or other A&M.
Shut it!
I've heard anyway that A&M
Shut your mouth.
is who will manufacture that one, and they don't. You know, they've got to keep making those Sting CDs. You know, so it may slow it down. I don't know, but anyway, the new one I think will be out on CD like in July.
Oh. Well, this is probably, people ask a lot about, how you came to learn to record bands and how to be a producer. A lot of people, I'm just encapsulating a lot of these questions. People ask, well, did Mitch Easter learn how to play guitar from a Mel Bay book, or did you learn how to produce, just by playing around with a tape recorder? Or how did you?
Yeah, the recording stuff was just because I used to make tapes with Chris Stamey on a TAC 4-track. We got one of the first ones ever in like '72 or something like that. I started making tapes, and so I mean, if you can make remotely listenable tapes on something like that, it's sort of the same process extended when you go into a real studio. So I just bought some recording stuff in 1980 to start the studio. Well, actually I bought it in '78, but I didn't start the studio until '80. And the first thing I ever did on it was the Crackers record. I mean, I didn't have any experience at all, but I just kind of knew what to do. And I mean, the record is sort of clunky, but it sounds okay. And I don't know, I just sort of knew what was involved just from thinking about it. You know what I mean? Nobody really told me how to do it, but I mean, I've certainly picked up things since then. From Don Dixon, just my own experience. But I didn't have like an apprenticeship anymore. I just sort of did.
You didn't go to Phil Spector and ask him to show you how to twiddle the knobs or anything?
No, it's not that hard to do. It's hard to get it to sound good, but it's not hard to just operate and stuff, So I got to sort of learn how over the course of lots of records.
Related to that, maybe you could tell us about what you've got in the studio now. You mentioned you just got a 24-track machine.
Yeah, I got this 24-track machine from the power station.
Tell them what records we recorded.
Well, I think I told them that it was recorded. The River was recorded on it, and it's great. The guys in the studio said, "Yeah, well, we figured the boss probably leaned against us. He was probably holding a beer." And Sandinista was done. It's like it was the power station, so everything was sort of famous, I suppose. It was done. but it also doesn't really work right now.
So you haven't
It's 'cause
recorded
Bruce
anything with it
Lee
yet?
died.
Huh?
You haven't recorded anything with it yet?
I actually mixed something on it. There's a song that's going to be on our English single called 2 U's. It was recorded in '82, and it's a long story. But anyway, I mixed it on that machine because I messed with it a little bit. So I had to copy it off the 16 and make another multi-track copy and change a couple of things and then mix it down. So I used it for that. That's the first thing I've done with it. And,
The Dump Truck album is a 24-track.
nah.
It sounds so good, I thought it was.
Yeah, well, no, I'm still really big on 16. I mean, I'm going to always do some 16 when I can, but 24 is a nice thing to just let you mess around a little more.
This is the best question that we have ever been asked about Mitch Easter, I think anyway. This fellow asks, where does Mitch's mom park her car if his stuff is all in the garage?
Well, they don't use the garage because there's also a carport, so that's it. I mean, the garage sort of goes out and there's a roof over part of the driveway. That's where the cars are. Which I can give you
Oh,
more
well, I
science.
thought it was a really inspiring question.
Is the term carport, is that like a southern terminology?
Oh, yeah, we use
Because
it in
it-
Florida.
Well, that's south. I mean,
Yeah.
We got them up here.
carport.
father had one.
I was just wondering.
There's a lot in Florida.
Yeah, that garage was kind of only half a garage even when I started the studio. It was like a single car garage at that point, and then it sort of became a 0 car garage. So I parked the carport.
The rest of the questions are pretty much questions you probably get all the time in interviews, like what's your favorite song, what's your favorite band, and stuff like that.
Favorite song ever? I don't know.
Yeah, you've been asked that 1,000
I can't answer
Those
that.
are hard to answer kind of questions.
I guess it would have to be Ryan or the Valkyries, you know.
Eric does have a favorite song or favorite band. Eric, we were told you like the Blue Oyster Cult, so that immediately put us really excited about the new drummer. And let's.
Well, I don't know. I just thought that one song would be. Yeah, I've never really been that big of a Blue Oyster Cult fan. I'm more of a Led Zeppelin fan.
They come from Long Island. That's why we're rabid fans
Oh,
of
yeah.
that group. We used to write their lyrics in between our college notes.
What used to be, not
Well,
talking about the
still
earlier.
refer to the good old times, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe 262.
10,000.
That's right.
But I don't really know what my favorite song is. It'd be
What's
hard
your
to say.
favorite song? That's an easy question.
Favorite song?
How about Incantation and Dance, which is a marching band ensemble piece? No, I don't know. Just kidding. I don't know, really. There's so many
I have a
songs I
whole
like.
bunch of favorite songs.
Funny answer.
Yeah, that is not seriously asking stuff.
Oh,
Oh, I wish I knew.
Favorite band, I mean.
would they be disappointed if we said something like,
Partridge fan?
I can't drive 55?
No, I don't think so.
Partridge Family were a big influence on me. That's
We used to get letters that said,
They were great, man.
"Is it true that Mitch Easter likes Flock of Seagulls or Led Zeppelin? We can't believe it. Please
We
tell
don't
us
like
it's not
Flock
real."
of Seagull.
I think someone
It's
asked
not
that.
that bad.
Well,
There-
yeah,
Someone
They're
asked Mitch
dire.
Easter really like Led Zeppelin. I can't believe it. It doesn't.
yeah, that's just not allowed, is it? Well, tough. We do. I do.
I think it's interesting when I first heard about how you like Led Zeppelin. We first heard about how you like Led Zeppelin. I thought the reason you said that, you might have very well liked the band. This is going back to my own thoughts, I guess. But I guess you came to the same conclusion as a lot of people who started picking up on new wave back in '76 when it first started. That it's so old now.
Yeah.
People drag on punk rock and new wave. They still band around these terms.
I
To
know,
me, it's like ancient history. It's like
10 years old.
you might as well like the Grateful Dead. That's how up to date it
The
is.
thing that's so incredible is that when you think about those first Damned records and stuff like that, they're as old as like when Sean and I was doing 50s stuff, and that seemed like an incredible span of time, They were doing really old stuff. I mean, it's time for, a humor band to come out wearing skinny ties, it's been that long.
Yeah.
Definitely. Oh yeah.
Humor man.
And what I think what's really ironic is when hardcore started in LA, the people who originally were in the original new wave circles in New York, they thought, oh, this is the worst possible parody of what it started. Now all those hardcore bands are actually making good music, I think.
Yeah. Oh.
Something really good came out of it after all.
And, Black Flag's carrying on that Black Sabbath torch, too.
Yeah, they are.
Everything's, really connected, man.
Yeah.
Oh, their record's terrific. Did you hear the new record?
No,
Their live album?
but they put out a new record every week, so I don't have
Oh, it's terrific. I couldn't believe how good it was.
Yeah. Yeah, her Black Flag article is the definitive piece of her writing in English.
Yeah, I never Black Flag.
You did really?
Yeah.
No, actually, we were first talking about Led Zeppelin, it was like, I guess it was 82 or 83, when we were first doing college radio interviews, and it was like the most offensive thing we could say to them, at the time, but I mean, we all really didn't mean it, and it was just so funny because there was so much sort of propriety about not liking that sort of thing. It's hilarious to go in there and talk about it.
That's right. It was like,
You could
this is
blood.
heresy. I mean, aren't you a new wave guy? I mean, how can you like that stuff?
Blood sort of drains out of their faces.
Yeah, no, it's cool to have bad takes.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to ask. That's dead. You want to say anything that, about the tour's over now, this little
This
tour?
is sort of a micro tour, yeah. But
This is
Mike.
training camp is what it was. It's no sleep.
this is the no sleep drop.
This is training
Boot
camp.
tour.
No,
So
the
what?
BC tour.
Yeah.
The BC powders too.
BC boot tour.
Yeah.
We've done,
The Dos
I think,
Equis, too.
5 tours now as Let's Active, as a band, Let's Active. I think this is,
Counting as
major
little
tours, actually. You did sort of a mini tour with Chris Stamey on bass around Christmas.
Oh, that was
time, right?
so
Actually,
many
there
that
were
it was
2
like-
little
Really?
separate
Two
segments.
shows.
Gene Holder. wasn't it?
Yeah, we did a mini tour with Gene. Chris was mainly just the New Orleans show and Greensboro show, and
Yeah, 2 nights with Chris.
Yeah,
It was
that's-
supposed to be more, but then the Golden Palominos tour sort of overlapped it, and then Gene could do it, so we got it.
yeah.
It's kind of good.
Well,
He did more dates with us, actually, than Chris.
It was great because Gene actually got in the spirit of it and sprayed his hair and ratted it and stuff. And he came out, with like this t-shirt, psychedelic clothes on, and his hair ratted. And, it was great.
He looked like a real scary death guy.
He looked great, yeah, he looked great.
and he went on stage like that?
Oh,
You
yeah,
bet.
he looked wonderful, man.
That was fun.
That was good because, I've never been in a band with him, even though he's one of those Winston-Salem guys, so it's the first time I ever played with him.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
You seem to overlap and cross paths so many different times.
Yeah, well, he just used to be like in typing class and stuff, but I was never in a band with him.
Have you decided, anything new or different you're going to do on the new major tour? I mean, like, play different venues. A lot of people write to us and say they don't play any places where a 14-year-old can go inside and see the band, You've played a lot of college days where younger folks can go to.
Yeah.
I've talked to a few.
I mean, if we play in any bigger places, those tend to be more all-ages kind of shows, But I don't know what sort of place we're going to be in this summer. It's really hard to say.
Yeah.
And we have this real sort of funny position right now. We're playing like songs off the new record that only some people have heard since it's been out too long. If that record starts to do something, then our show should do something too. Otherwise, it may be coming back to the bars. I don't really know what level we're at right now.
But you probably insist upon headlining every show now, and certainly at that
Well, actually,
level.
I've thought about doing some opening to get into some bigger places, because we
But
haven't
if it
opened
was
in a long
opening,
time.
it'd be a bigger band, like one of them.
Like Echo and the Bunnymen this time.
Yeah, it'd be something that's it'd
Yeah.
be that Led Zeppelin reunion or the Beatles or something.
Yeah.
What about the possible Van Halen tour? Oh,
Yeah,
That's on the ramps.
Yeah.
you've been talking to Sammy about it. Yes.
Yeah.
They're kind of worried that
We're
we
really good
blow
friends
off the
with Sam.
stage.
it's
Yeah,
not
the
gonna
Van
work.
They're
Halen-
getting kind of nervous.
They said that I couldn't use that orange amp. We gotta
Yeah.
get it super low.
Are you going to try and produce anyone in between the acts?
Well, I've done a whole bunch of records over the past few. Little sessions that are supposed to be records over the past few months. But Cliff said I probably won't see the studio until next Christmas.
Yeah.
It'll be a while before I get back to the studio.
Do you have a lot of songs recorded from the next Let's Act It Out and all?
Got a lot of ideas.
Got
Who's
some
got
songs kind of around, but nothing on tape.
So there
Yeah,
were
you
no.
do.
What?
Invisible Hills, that da da
That's
da
true.
da da da, whatever.
What
that
about
was.
10 layers down? Is that
Horizon.
going to be British now?
10 layers down.
I think we should recut 10 layers.
Yeah, I love 10 layers.
Hey!
You can play a
Yeah.
song.
I mean, I liked it the way it was, but man, if I could play it,
Oh, you
I'd
can play a lot
love
better
it.
than I could because we did
No,
that
the
like
drum track was great.
It was
I
like-
Me and Mitch did that in like a morning as a joke.
It was like we made it up as something to do one night.
Yeah, it was like, let's play a dumb song, like a garage one, and it turned into the song that
And
we
that-
ended up
that-
liking a
that-
lot, but it was supposed to be like a
That real,
like a
what's that
60s
guy's
punk
name?
song,
I can't
like
think of
a
his name.
Sonic.
The lead, sort of getting nervous, kind of Pat Benatar. kind of
Yeah, I really like the middle part of that. I wish I could like bounce the guitars over and redo everything else.
Maybe you can.
The song is called 10 Layers Down. I don't know if you've called this all this stuff.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
Were there any songs left after the Big Plans sessions? That,
Yeah, that's what we're talking
Yeah, there's one
about.
called I Feel Funny that we gave to Bucket Full of Brains, probably plays the best.
Oh, that's going to be the Flexi disc?
Yeah.
I feel
That's a
funny.
weird one.
It's
I
really
feel
good.
I never
funny.
even heard that. I don't think. I didn't even know about that.
Maybe you haven't heard it. We should learn it because it's really
I
easy.
feel funny.
Yeah, I Feel Funny is another weird one that happened like at night, where it was like, it started out mostly like Mitch had like a fuzz bass sound.
It was the
And it's
first
like,
part that I had for a long
blah,
time.
blah, blah. It's really weird.
The tremolo bass on, trying to think what song you used.
Still learning.
Yeah, did that come out of your rehearsing through the same twin reverb that I was rehearsing?
I just really like tremolo bass. I mean, Heartbreaker on Led Zeppelin too, man. It's really got.
That has tremolo bass on it?
Yeah, actually they did it a lot.
Really?
And also Starship Trooper by Yes.
Yeah.
It's also got
That has tremolo bass on it.
and it's the best sound, So yeah, that one's done with the twin, but we found out that they make trem faces again, which is like a tremolo pedal from the '60s. They're making them again, so
You have to get one.
make him play.
Yeah, you'll have to make me.
Yeah.
Plug it in.
Plug this.
So you'll really like it. It's funny.
It's cool. It's cool.
I don't know what else it has.
What about Wow Wow Women?
Yeah, we also
Oh, this is fun.
covered Wild Wild Women by Johnny Carroll for the Flexi disc too.
It's like a live vocal and stuff. Mitch just sort of.
It's
Live everything.
It's wretched,
Yeah.
but anyway, it's gonna go on
Oh,
there.
it's funny. It is.
It's really rockabilly.
Yeah, it's like.
But we do have a couple leftover tracks that may use in next right now. We have some songs that did never really get real versions, and then we've got some bits. So we sort of have a little bit of a start on the next track.
Yeah.
Who knows who actually is there. And what I'd really like to do is do some tracks in the summer and then do some more a little bit later. Not just do it all at once, but kind of accumulate a bunch of stuff.
You don't usually write your songs on the road.
I never have, but I'm gonna try to do it this time.
Yeah. That one time we went out when you had the new record record, you did tape some pieces that were kind of cool.
Just buy a new guitar every tour.
Yeah.
No, I mean like this record, I pretty much came back from tour, sat down and wrote the song and started recording it. It was just like an assembly line. But there was that one song, Won't Go Wrong, sort of predated that. It was made up like the Christmas before the last one. It's pretty,
Yeah.
and
The
it was pretty
newest
used
one
for a
is-
long song.
Yeah, the one
Yeah.
that really got just barely on the album was In Little Ways, because that was written over Christmas, sort of waiting to master it almost, and that thing was done.
You did some sessions with Chris Thomas around December time, I think. Did that ever come to fruition?
Who?
No, that never
Oh.
happened.
Well, I always wanted us to get some kind of producer guy to do some mixing with or something. And we thought he'd do so well, but that didn't happen at all.
That didn't happen at all.
Chris
No.
Thomas?
Yeah. They actually they tried to contact some of these guys, and it was so last minute. I mean, it was right around Christmas, and all these
Yeah.
guys were not working, and it was just so we couldn't line up with these guys. We did get Scott Litt to come in and do some stuff because we knew him from years back. And
Scott was great.
yeah, he was just a lot of fun to have around. We mixed 4 songs.
Yeah.
We ended up not using one of the mixes because the vocals weren't loud enough, which is kind of the IRS mantra. I use.
Scott's
Is Scott the Amstel?
Scott might have been. I think Scott was the origin of us always drinking Amstel Light.
That's what caused the riot.
Inspired.
Where did we get the lemon from then? Is that your idea?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're original on that.
And white grape juice.
Welch's white grape juice.
That stuff is good.
You want that on the rider?
Yeah, he just knows to keep in mind until we get home. So
Um,
I'm sure if I get something.
Hey, a Sennheiser 421 for the second snare mic.
Here we go.
Oh, he's right with a knife.
Hey,
Oh, I
if
thought
you're
you were really taking this stuff
I'm
down.
playing with
Oh, if you're putting
Seven
grape
miles,
juice
man.
on the rider, I'll have that.
Let's get. Can we get cherry Coke on the rider? Does anybody drink
We'll
cherry?
get one.
I'll drink it, but I'd be happy with either
Whatever you want.
Either
cherry.
Coke or cherry Coke.
It just there's.
But mainly
They
cherry.
always
Coke.
like give us 10 gallons of 7-Up, and it's just like
Yeah, we don't drink.
Yeah, they used to put a list of
It's
what
just
we
like
have on
water
our
or
rider, and there's a.
They're fans of beer.
Yeah, they just.
They
They'd
do
be like,
that.
they come to the gigs with the stuff that we wouldn't even have to get from the club.
Yeah.
Give you all a copy of our phone. So too valuable to sell.
Yeah, I love grape juice on the rider.
meet Cliff Atchison, our manager.
Man of the night.
Anything embarrassing you have to say about the band?
Embarrassing.
No, it's the man who hasn't slept in 8 months.
He's only had one bath in 4 days.
Maybe two. Nothing wrong to say. Just been real good on this boot training. I think we'll survive the summer. That's about it.
There aren't a lot of after dinner speeches in us right now. It's sort of like going to bed speeches or something
Really?
that's in there.
This was way too early to play. We went from not being awake to drinking a little bit.
Yeah,
And
drove
just sort
all
of
night
never
last night.
quite
Think
figured
about
out
it.
what was going on.
At 8:30 we can crawl into bed and just crash
Yeah.
if we want. I probably might.
I'm ready to write that.
Alright.
Which is in a little time.
It's on tape.
Oh, it was not Mary Dad?
No, yeah, I didn't. I thought I was gonna giving you the impression it was Mary. It wasn't Mary. It was Kathy. It was just Mary was auditioning for the same thing.
Really?
Yeah, so that's why Kathy was kind of hesitant about telling me about it because she thought it might cause a little friction, but you know, it eventually did. And Mary came to a gig the other night and everything was cool. So
Was there a band?
yeah, and a really good band too.
Yeah, I haven't heard them.
You haven't heard Venus? Oh,
Venus too.
They're really good.
They
Yeah,
are really
I'm
good.
sure they are.
They have some really good songs. But
Next
it's
guy,
through,
next
through
guy.
When I
Kathy.
saw them, they were just them and a drum machine, and they were really good.
Yeah, now they got a drummer and everything, so they're pretty happy. They got some good songs. But it wasn't Mary, so I don't put that. Kathy.
Kathy.
The addendum
That's
to
an
this.
H-A-R-R. Okay.
We don't know what we're going to do with the next new band.
Anything that I can figure out. Last year I decided I was allergic to Hicks because I got it right on honey and touched my hand and then everybody sort of moved.
Yeah, we can always drink
Maybe
cranberry.
it's something fresher.
So I've got it there. I've got a little
Can you get a close up of this? Of his skin affliction?
I have really bad eczema on my thumb.
wow.
He always gets
Also there and there. Last year it was over here.
While we're on the subject of skin affliction.
Yeah, look at his blisters.
all right, can we
This is
see
great.
this? Oh.
Isn't
Well,
that
it's-
just
Oh,
lovely?
can I get mine in?
It's on the line of duty.
I have perfect hands. I'm sorry.
Show them your scar.
Hey, nobody's
Okay.
ever
Oh,
seen
you
my
want?
butt.
Here, you want to see my scar?
Here's my bruises that are exactly where my arm hits my Rickenbacker. I'm playing.
Here, this isn't from playing, but you can get it anywhere if you want to.
This is going to be,
That's from an operation.
oh, okay.
Wow,
It's going to be
that's
really
got
cinema verite, I tell you.
Those poor engineers at Sony never thought
Here, let me show you the scar on my butt.
it's sort of
Yeah, really.
unnecessary.
Okay, if we got the amp still, we're ready.
Well, I'm ready.